Important game for both teams today. Derwent currently sitting fourth on the ladder. There's only a couple of points in it, but they are sitting fourth, and Canterbury are fifth. Now there is a decent gap between these two sides in terms of points. Derwent are still pretty comfortable sitting in fourth, and they're not going to lose their spot in the top four today if they happen to lose to Canterbury. But for the Lions, they are looking to build in the second half of the season and try and get themselves back up into a position where they can potentially challenge for the top four, as Molly Hayes for Derwent breaks into the circle early, tries to cut it back. Good interception by Prue Dugan to stop that attack in its tracks. Early attempt on the circle by Derwent, handled comfortably by the Canterbury defence. Yeah, Canterbury have been slowly building this season. Their first half of the season wasn't great results-wise, as Lauren Canning intercepts and is breaking for the circle herself. Tries to put the pass in, it is a little bit loose. Hayes over the top of the ball again. She's under heavy scrutiny from Chloe Abel, who does affect the tackle in the end and runs away with it out of defence. Still contested possession at the moment as Curtis attempts to go down the left-hand side. She's held up by a good tackle by Louise Maddock. And Canterbury will have the ball on the half line. So Canterbury defence just tested twice there in the first minute, and they'll be happy to have held up. Maddock grabs the ball back again, wants to go up the line. Intercepting is Seddon. Again, the ball just no great clean possession just yet in this midfield position, as Curtis again with a bit of skill beats two but gets caught by the third. Sophie Rockefeller over the top of the ball. Long pass finds Hayes. That's a beautiful pass. Hayes again going for a run down the right hand side. Attempts to cross but intercepting. Back there is O'Connor. She clears, doing a bit of extra defensive work as Camille O'Connor, coming off 2 goals last week. She's starting to find a bit of form as well. Derwent attempting to attack more centrally this time. Dugan again with an important touch just outside the circle. Westland's early onto it. Once the free hit, the umpire allows it to play on. Still a battle for possession around the top of that circle. Canterbury win the free hit through Madison Curtis. And now Blair Beard bring it out of defence. She attempts to go overhead. Again, it's congested, but it does fall nicely for Hannah Richardson, who, in a bit of a foot race with Jana van Bladderen, loses that time. I imagine in a couple of weeks that's probably a foot race that Hannah Richardson's not going to lose. The ball does come back to them through Lucas. Now Munt. Mary all the way back. Seddon's under a bit of pressure here now from Dobby. Dobby's going to win the race. Just got one in front of her. Fantastic tackle there. Sweeping through in the defence is Blair Beard, who's been impressive since returning to the Premier League in 2021, and she has made it known that she's keen to get into the Tassie Tigers squad as well for Hockey One, which is coming up in October. And of course those squads nominations for athletes close tomorrow, and so we'll know soon what the makeup of those initial squads are. And I think Blair Beard's made a pretty decent case for herself to be at least considered as part of that initial squad. Abel goes for the midfield this time. Dugan. Now Curtis. She's got 3 and 4 Derwent sticks around her. Harassed off the ball. Turnover. Westland now has Dobby again on the outside on the right. Dobby takes a look up. There's not much in the circle, so she wants to carry it a little bit further. Coming through is Rockefeller on a reverse. She's tackled. Attempting to make the entry. A little bit of a wild swing. And Derwent held up once again in that defensive 25. Good signs early for Derwent in terms of possession. Good signs early for Canterbury in terms of their defence. But I'd be a little bit worried about just how much Canterbury are inviting Derwent onto their circle at the moment. Emily Rockefeller uses Featherstone. She's under pressure too. Rockefeller again out on the left. He's caught by 2 and her pass over the baseline doesn't find anyone. And I've just been joined in the commentary box by the Mercury's chief hockey writer, Adam Clifford. Adam, welcome to the broadcast to you.
Thanks, Scotty. Good to be here. Another cracking game of Women's Premier League hockey. I wrote in my preview in today's Mercury newspaper that this was a bit of a danger game for Derwent, coming off a Tuesday night game and a disappointing result with a 1-1 draw for University, with the students registering their first point of the season. So this is a bit of a danger game. Canterbury, there's been some real green shoots starting to appear for the Lions this season, and the return of Hannah Richardson, all-star forward. She's just, I think, got 3 goals in 3 games, Scotty, and adds another dimension to the Lions' attack. So a real danger game here for the Strikers. They shift the ball around nicely, they throw it around nicely. They're a very quick side, but just haven't lacked that little bit of finishing polish in previous weeks.
It's just been a little bit of a mid-season lull almost for Derwent, whose results over the last month haven't exactly been great, as Vickery has the ball in their attacking half but turns it over. Derwent probably slightly disappointed with how their last month has gone in terms of results, and of course they were. Sophie Rockefeller attacks the circle now. That's a good ball in. A little bit of work to do for Saltmarsh, and she wins a penalty corner.
Really experienced play there from Saltmarsh. She's got 7 goals for the season already, but just received on a 4-stick, rolled strong, protected the ball, and wins the penalty corner for the Strikers. Wouldn't be too surprised to see Louise Maddock, if she's on, take a strike here.
I'd almost be willing to say that the form of Derwent has almost been carried by the form of Claire Saltmarsh, who started with a bang, and as did Derwent, and the last couple of weeks she struggled to find the back of the net, and as a result, Derwent just struggled to get the results they probably expected. So be looking for her to have a big influence on today's game if Derwent are to get the win. Penalty corner now. Injections. Sophie Rockefeller was sneaking around the left, but it's a missed trap. Curtis held up briefly. Her ball to Munt was good, and Munt misses the trap. Just a little bit lazy, going for the reverse stick trap instead of getting around on a 4-stick. She would have been through, I imagine.
A little bit of a let-off for the Strikers there, but you're right in your assessment of Derwent's season. They have fallen away a little bit. Not unexpected for a young side to lack that little bit of consistency, but hopefully they can get back to winning ways today as a Derwent club member myself.
Now, they've had quite a few changes over the off-season too, so certainly was expected for them to not quite hit the heights that they have in the past couple of years, but I think they probably took everyone by surprise at how well they started the season. So this might just be a regression to form rather than a real drop in performance. But the season is open. It's quite an open top 4 in terms of who can win it still. It's Curtis, again attacking through the midfield. That's Camille O'Connor, who's got it deep. She's under pressure from Canning. Derwent do win that one back in their defence, and now Hayes collecting it deep in the left half position. Good little bit of skill to bring it out, but she doesn't get it past Abel. Now Dugan. Good bit of control from Canterbury to retain possession. Beard's just put herself under a little bit of pressure. Saltmarsh did well, and Beard did even better. But now the ball does fall for Canterbury, and Lauren Canning, she's got a good set of wheels on her. Down the left on a reverse, wants to make the cross. It's not great, but it does fall for Hayes in there. And in the end, it was Chloe Abel who does make the final intercept and win the free hit for Canterbury.
So early signs looking good for Derwent, able to exploit their pace, and they shift the ball out wide. They look quite damaging. Canterbury, though, have really stacked. They're playing quite a narrow line, and have really stacked their midfield, and that's going to create opportunities for them if Derwent don't look to use the help side and the full width of the turf. As we see Maddock picking up possession there, shovels out wide, and there's Emma O'Grady. Just keeps that one in, but Dugan's there to clean up for the Lions. She'll look to recycle now. And just nice simplicity with the way Canterbury are trying to shift the ball at the moment. Curtis, a little bit of meat in the sandwich there. Elects to take it on quickly. Nice 4-stick drag. and well closed down by Maddock, who's higher up the field than she's normally accustomed. And O'Grady now on the counter attack. Finds Hayes. She's one-on-one if she wants to take it. Left to right drag. Then Forstick, big drag around Beard. Into the circle, but wins a free hit just outside as Canterbury scramble numbers back.
Back to Olivia Canning. She uses Maddock, who's now in that central defensive position. Successfully switched it out to the left. Now Lauren Canning back to Featherstone. Happy to maintain possession until they can find an entry. Does come from Maddock. It is through everyone and will be a 23 restart for Derwent.
Changed the point of attack quite nicely there, Scotty, but that entry from Maddock was just a little bit too narrow through the head of the circle. Cotton goes direct route one as well. And unfortunately it's come off the Derwent stick and hit Chloe Abel, I think, above the knee. So Beard with time to relieve pressure, assesses her options, brings the ball up, and that is a fantastic strike. There's clash of bodies in the middle of the field, but Java Vickery is going to take it quickly, close down again, and a little bit of physicality coming into this game, Scotty.
Getting a little bit physical, yes. I like it though. Bodies on the line. Does seem that Derwent very happy to try and shift this Canterbury defence around and attack from deep or from direct, and they seem to be happy to switch it. Canterbury at the moment seem very happy just to soak up as much pressure as they can and try and look to hit on the counter as Westland in the circle. That ball's loose right at the feet of Georgia Bennett in goals for Canterbury, and they survive once again. It does feel like a little bit of a dangerous strategy though for Canterbury, just inviting some of these Canterbury strikers into the circle as often as they are. That's Reid.
Well tackled by Olivia Canning. She looks to go quickly to Hayes, who picks it up on the move. Tracks around, he's going to crash ball in. Well mopped up by Blair Beard, but only as far as Hayes again. Beats one, beats two. Might need to recycle the ball here. And Maddock just miscues her pass to Jana van Bladderen.
Yeah, just a bit of miscommunication there. I think Van Bladderen was looking to get the second pass rather than the direct one. She was off running on a big overlap. Molly Hayes has started this game very well though. We know she's probably one of the most silky skilled players in the women's competition at the moment. She's definitely showing a full bag of tricks at the moment in these first 5 minutes. But I'm just a little bit concerned now that for all Derwent's attack, they don't seem to be connecting too cleanly in the circle and around goal. So they might just struggle, despite having all the circle entries at the moment, to score.
Well, I'm not sure if our viewers can pick that up on the screen there, but when that free hit was taken for Derwent, they had 6 players behind the ball. So that's allowing Canterbury to set up a bit of a wall at the top of the circle with a couple of unmarked players really trying to protect the head of the circle. So I think Derwent, if I was coach, I'd probably be looking maybe even to outlet with the back 3 and shift an extra number up to make Canterbury's defenders a little bit more accountable.
Richardson on the ball, wants to go long. Just hit a few feet and sticks on the way through. Cotton switches now. Lauren Canning has put herself on the right side of the pitch now. She's had enough of attacking on a reverse. Featherstone. Featherstone's been one who's really stepped up in this side, taken on a much larger leadership role in this side, and I think she's certainly playing at a much higher level than what she was last year. So she's been impressive, holding down a starting spot in their first 11 and will be amongst their best 5 or 6 players every week almost. Canning. It's a good ball to the top of the circle. Waiting for it was Curtis. She was surrounded by 3 different Derwent players and was first to the ball.
Beard looking for the lateral leads, none doing, so she switches the ball down the right, unable to control the bobbling pass. And a chance for Eliza Westland to bring the ball back into play. no immediate pressure, so she connects with Java Vickery on the overlap, but she runs into traffic.
She's been a great addition back into this Derwent side too, Westland, and hopefully she'll be one amongst the Tassie Tigers squad as well. Adam.
Yeah, absolutely. She's got a couple of years of Australian Hockey League experience under her belt. She'd fit the age range that Coach Luke Dorner's looking to bring into the squad. Very fit, very clever player with a great reach and tackle, so has all the attributes to have another successful campaign at Hockey 1 level, so it'd be great to see Scotty. I do hear that both Tigers squads have big healthy nomination lists, which is fantastic to see. It'll be really intriguing over the second half of the season how those squads unfold. Maddie Curtis does well in traffic there, looks to spread the ball quickly but just unable to connect with Hannah Richardson as time runs out. That's 0-all at quarter time, Scotty. Canterbury have had to weather a little bit of a storm, but they've done it quite well. They're nice and compact in defence, and Georgia Bennett hasn't had too much to do, so they'll be quite comfortable with how the game sits.
Maybe there is a case to be made that they take a little bit more of an attacking mindset to the second quarter and see what happens.
I guess there's two schools of thought. You can create lots of space in the attacking circle for your three attacking forwards, but sometimes you might get outnumbered 3 or 4 attackers to 7 or 8, 9 defenders. So just something for Coach Keegan Popowski to contemplate. As we see Eliza Westland here, looks for a big searching ball but unable to connect with Molly Hayes' post back.
Derwent probably accused of going too quickly as well at this stage. I think they are struggling to connect with their forwards in their circle forays.
Yeah, and interesting, they've started the quarter with Claire Saltmarsh on the bench. Obviously she's their leading goal scorer for the year and adds a different sort of skill set to complement the rest of the forwards, I believe. So Abel wins the free hit there against Rockefeller, who's very active in the press. And not a lot of movement. Camille O'Connor offers a lateral lead, almost gets the ball, just cut out by Canning, and they steal another 15 yards up the ground, Canterbury. Looking to consolidate in the front half of the ground. Abel back to Beard, has time to have a bit of a scan, looks to go direct. Van Bladderen's in front, comes and meets it. But Maddie Curtis now with a one-on-one battle with Westland, and Westland wins out there.
Yeah, we just see that play, that direct ball straight out of the defensive half towards the top of the circle. Again, there weren't many other options on, which is probably my biggest concern with how Canterbury is setting up just at the moment. Beard was almost forced into that pass because that was the only one presenting. Certainly wasn't anything coming from her wing halves, and not much coming from deep midfield either. So I think that's probably something that they need to correct if they are to create a little bit more high percentage plays in their attacking half. As Dobby steals it again, she's done that a few times now. Hayes back to Dobby into the circle now. She's got a clear shot on goal. Bennett makes the initial save. Seddon has a little bit of work to do. She's got Sophie Rockefeller on a hammer. Rockefeller wins it back from her. She's straight into the circle, crosses it to the spot. Loose ball. It's still not clear. Canning on a reverse. Good tackle from Camille O'Connor. Forces it outside the circle. Derwent battle on for possession here. Van Bladeren will win it. They reset down the left.
Really comfortable save there from Georgia Bennett. Really impressed with how she had all her weight distributed so that she was still able, there wasn't a heap of power on the shot, but she was able to really clear the danger perfectly. As we see Maddie Curtis jump into possession here, bit of stick work. Thought she'd won the free hit, misses out. A chance here for Derwent to counter with Sophie Rockefeller skipping inside.
Really good defensive work from Louise Maddock, who's been another player who over the last couple of years has continuously taken her game up levels and levels to where she's one of the she's almost amongst those premium defenders in the game at the moment. Loose ball now, picked up by O'Connor.
Just finding herself a little bit isolated, O'Connor. You can see though the extreme speed that she possesses. Beard does the mop-up work to teammate Abel, who's had possession taken by Molly Hayes. A little bit of a scramble there over on the far side. Abel wins out, takes it quickly, threads the ball down, cut out by Featherstone, and she'll shuffle it forward. A chance here for Canterbury to reset. See, stacking their midfield still Canterbury, but they need a little bit more lateral movement out towards the sideline. Richardson's got high, here's the ball, just led the other way and couldn't quite connect with Beard, but that was a damaging ball and just shows you how quickly Canterbury can turn defence into attack if they can get their connections going.
I think that's the one. That's the one that they'll be looking for. Not every time, but we saw there was a gap open up, and we know Beard's able to hit those. Unfortunately, because Hannah Richardson had just switched their lead up to go in the opposite direction. But if she had kept going towards that corner, she would have been free and through.
Encouraging signs from Canterbury though, when you think that they're without Isabel Sharman, Sophie Allardyce, Felicity Wilson, Heffernan today. So some good signs, but as I say that, through comes Emma O'Grady, passes cut out by Seddon, and Emily Rockefeller's got a stick in there and won a penalty corner for Derwent.
Second look at the penalty corners for the Derwent Strikers today. Missed trap on the first one, so they really haven't had a good look at it, and they'll be hoping to take advantage of this opportunity. They had plenty on Tuesday night, and I don't think they scored one from them, so this is an area of their game they'll want to get right before they get finals. It is a good trap. Go one left, Rockefeller with the shot. Seems to take a deflection off the Canterbury defender, so a little bit of a variation. Didn't go the direct route for Maddock. She'll be probably keen to have a strike at some point if they get a couple more penalty corners, but it's with Westland now from the 23.
Gone around the Canterbury wall this time to Featherstone. Backing away, can't connect the pass. What's happened here, Scotty? Is that a long corner? It is. Westland looks to take it quickly, back through the traffic. That's what Canterbury want. Numbers there to prevent that all day. So if we'd taken a photo then, I think we had the whole of the Derwent side over on the left half of the ground. It's a lot of feet, a lot of bodies to try and work it through. Possession stolen by Canning, cut out by Beard. And here goes Canterbury on the counter-attack now. Protects it well.
That's Reid, Eliza Reid.
That'd have to be Beverly Reid's daughter, wouldn't it? My dentist. Big shout out to you, Bev. Hopefully a discount. Claire Saltmarsh again does well in traffic. Featherstone on the ball. Not a lot going forward though, just a sea of red bodysuits, so she'll have to go back out and around to Cotton. Cotton switches it really quickly to Maddock. Combines with Canning, shuffles it forward to O'Grady, left to right, tries to connect with Rockefeller, but runs into traffic there. Dugan with space to carry the ball. Shifts it left to Mary, cut out by Canning. Opportunity to switch is on, but O'Grady goes back through traffic through Seddon. It's just got a little bit chaotic there, but Canning recognises, shifts the ball out into space. But here's O'Connor now, bursting through the centre of the ground. Puts it on the foot of Maddock. And a chance for the Lions to get numbers forward. I reckon Blair Beard might want to take this one. Just searching. No Hannah Richardson on the ground, so up to O'Connor to get busy in the midfield. She receives and cues in nicely, drags Maddock. Tries to burst through, she does. There's Mary now inside the circle. And well cut out by Louise Maddock, who was alert to the danger there. Just shows you how damaging Camille O'Connor can be, Scotty, when she picks the ball up and carries it at pace.
Yep, she's got speed and skill. We know she's a good goal scorer inside the circle, so it's a tough decision there for a coach. You've got someone who can do what she's just done in the last 30 seconds through the midfield, but also you lose someone of that skill who can score goals out of the circle in order to do it. So it's always a tough coaching job to kind of decide how best to use some of the assets you've got. As O'Grady now attacking down the right hand side, she does have a little bit of time, but as I say that, Camille O'Connor has run from attack to defence and shut her down initially.
Brilliant run by O'Grady there. And the shot did it come off Emily Rockefeller, just
it was Sophie Rockefeller actually arriving late for the deflection, straight over the baseline. Here is O'Connor and Beard sharing the ball again. Both of those have been heavily involved in a lot of Canterbury's play, but again not getting it over their half line, and Derwent have a chance to send it straight back towards their attacking 23. And Bladder harassed by Richardson, but she wins it and goes on a little bit of a run herself. Important little touch from Maddie Curtis just to stop Van Bladderen from going all the way through. Olivia Canning out at right half. Down the line, that's probably a little bit too far.
just wonder, Scotty, how much the pressure's starting to build at Derwent. The longer this game goes without a goal, pressure just starts to creep in.
I'd hazard a guess at saying that it's not working for either side at the moment. That long ball, and again, Hannah Richardson and Jana Van Bladderen in a foot race. Ball beats both of them over the baseline. I'd almost say that it's not working for either side here. I think half time, not too far away. I think both coaches are going to have to just reimagine their approach to this game if they're going to find a way through. Canterbury not really creating a whole lot of attacking options.
Here's Canning, round setting, cuts in field, looks across the field. Emily Rockefeller, she's got speed inside the circle. Opts to go on a back stick. Tomer lines up. Bennett with a great save there. Back to Rockefeller, goes for the pirouette. Unfortunately loses control. And that looked dangerous from Derwent. It's the first time they've attacked down one side and then done a switch, and they're attacking 25 on the counter attack. And Rockefeller's got busy. Westland now. Maisie run on the back stick. Cut out by Camille O'Connor, who was alert to the danger.
Just stepped it up in the last 30 seconds, Derwent. A little bit cleaner, a little bit more space, a little bit more decisive, especially from Emily Rockefeller and Eliza Westland. So, tough moments for Canterbury. That one's off the body of O'Connor. That play on, and Westland puts it into the bottom corner.
Brilliant. So they do and get reward yet again for switching the play. Olivia Canning had time to pick a pass inside the circle. Looked to have hit Camille O'Connor's foot on the trap, but Eliza Westland alert, kept a stick on the ball and fires it hard to the bottom left-hand corner. 1-0 Derwent, and deservedly so. They've been hot the last couple of minutes. And here they come again with Canning, with Beth Dobby on her right. Stretching run, can she keep it in? Unfortunately just evades her. But they've just kicked it up a gear, the strikers.
It was interesting, that game was just settling into a pattern, and up steps Emily Rockefeller and Eliza Westland both, putting in big plays to try and break this Canterbury defence down. It is Westland who eventually gets the breakthrough goal, and that really might force the hand of Canterbury, but might just lift this Derwent side too. So heading towards half time, it'll be interesting to see just how much that goal changes the game. Galloway. Now Seddon down the left. Munn loses the ball. Westland trying to run it out through defensive midfield.
Ooh, had Dobby in behind on the right hand side, opted to go left, and Maddie Curtis. Some great stick work there. Draws the foul from Emily Rockefeller, I think it was, and she'll be sitting down for 2 minutes on the chair. And sort of being played back a second as the umpire puts the cards away. I think that's Grace Calvert.
Yeah, she just stopped time, hadn't restarted it. She was giving out that green card to Emily Rockefeller. Big moment for Canterbury though. Oh, a mistrap there unfortunately diffuses the situation for the next few seconds at least, but Canterbury with the player advantage. Sophie Rockefeller does well to get it down the left. Here is Westland through the middle again. Towards the spot, it's Saltmarsh. Bennett cleared it out. Featherstone holds up the play. Seddon wants to go long. Featherstone with the initial trap. He's got 2 to beat. Goes along the ground to Dobby. Been heavily involved in this first half too.
Made some brilliant leads. Gets the ball back again. Left to right. Goes around Seddon. Protects the ball well here. Just needs a little bit of help from a teammate. Unfortunately catches the back of her stick. But she's got some great killing in skills, Beth Dobby, and pace to burn.
Been very impressed with her development this season. She had a chance to play with the Tasmanian underage national teams earlier in the year too, which of course she didn't get a chance to do any of that back in 2020. So really, she's a young player who's not necessarily come out of nowhere, but her development has definitely rocketed up the last couple of months as the Premier League's got back underway. It is half time though here. Derwent do have a 1-0 lead, and you'd have to say it's one of the most comfortable 1-0 leads you could have, because they are dominating much of the play and there is going to be a lot of work for Canterbury to do.
And the women's competition, South Lonnie girls defeated West Devonport 8-0. It was a fantastic performance last week. Kia Williams, Kira Budgeon, dominant in midfield, but they're back up against, in a fixture in Quirk, they're up against South Lonnie and West Devonport, facing each other at West Devonport's home ground today, and I don't know what implications that might have for the latter as well. So all to play for in the GNL to secure those State Club Cup positions, but it's certainly an exciting addition to the hockey calendar. As Derwent have got us underway here, and it's going to be Janelle Featherstone. She looks to aerial down the line, well brought down by Sophie Rockefeller, and she's going to burn down the right hand side, look to peel back inside on a reverse, wins the free hit just outside the circle, goes back to Featherstone, but unfortunately she's unable to control it, and Canterbury will get back in possession through Dugan to Curtis, favouring her reverse stick pass today, Curtis. She cuts out Molly Hayes' run there, and there's a bit of a foot race on down the left hand side. Van Bladderen doesn't keep it in, so the Lions in the attacking 25. There's a positive start to the third quarter for them, Scotty.
I'm just trying to see what kind of changes they've made. I think Camille O'Connor might be playing just a little bit higher to start this half. As Dobby collects the ball deep in her own half. She's managed to beat O'Connor and has a little bit of space to work in. Now Emily Rockefeller on a reverse. Beard does enough just to push her really wide, but Rockefeller does well to keep it in. Fires in a cross, bounces once, twice. Westland lines up. Good save by Bennett initially. Dobby does well to get that one under control, and well, I thought Molly Hayes had just tapped that one over the line, loose ball, but it's over the baseline instead, and Canterbury will have the release from the 15. Overhead from Beard. Cotton brings that one down. Vickery, now Westland can go over the 23. Hayes now on the right hand side, She's held up initially. On a reverse, finds Westland again. Vickery with a shot. Bennett once again makes another save. Vickery wants to go on a reverse, but she's gone too far out of her own reach and sent it over the sideline again. A couple of interesting moments for Georgia Bennett. Derwent looking dangerous as O'Connor. Straight through the middle. She's got Richardson on her outside. She goes to Munt on the left though. And Featherstone is able to collect. Not sure if that was the right decision, Adam, when you've got Hannah Richardson on your right.
No, I thought she could have carried the ball another couple of yards and slipped it through to Hannah Richardson just as she was so she could receive the ball as she hit the circle. And that could have been 1-1. But Eliza Westland's impressed me to start this quarter, Scotty. Some really good play down that inside left channel. And Bennett's been called upon to make a couple of saves now to keep her side in the match.
Rockefeller picks up the loose ball. Hayes now with a little bit of space. She puts on a burst of speed. She's tracked down by Seddon. Uses the outside run of Canning and puts the cross into the spot. There's two there. They get in each other's way. It was Westland and Rockefeller. A little bit of an apology there from the younger star, Emily Rockefeller, to Eliza Westland. But a good ball from Lauren Canning. And Derwent able to get two players ghosting into the spot. Now, good interception from Featherstone and a little bit of pressure on Olivia Canning. She does well. Now Lauren Canning cuts inside instead. Wants to use a little bit of a 1-2 with Westland. Westland goes on with it. Hayes. Good tackle there from Beard initially and good intercept. Westland has continued though. Now Emily Rockefeller. Her sister Sophie out on the left now. Held up by Abel. Battle on for possession and Abel wins it, if briefly. And Canterbury have a free hit deep at right back on the sideline.
Yeah, just underlining your class there, Blair Beard. With an important tackle and then follow-up intercept there to deny Derwent, just as they were looking to burst into the attacking circle. But good signs here for Derwent. There's a lot of runners in support when they go forward. And Molly Hayes again opts to go left to right, which is a fantastic move. Past Beard and a really strong carrying the ball there from Molly Hayes has seen Derwent earn their third penalty corner. I think they've got one in every quarter now, Scotty. And let's see what they look to do. As we said before in the telecast, with a number of penalty corner opportunities in their 1-1 draw with University on Tuesday night. So far yet to score from the penalty corner today. And it looks like they're just going to put the ball on target through Louise Maddock. Although Eliza Westland has ghosted round on the left and looks ominous.
Yeah, the other one is Sophie Rockefeller drag flick. Will be Maddock direct. I'm not sure whether that went out of the circle initially, so just having trouble at the top of that battery. Beard, early release out to the right. Mary, harassed by Westland. Now Curtis with a back to goal. Held up by Canning. Yeah, Sophie Rockefeller did score a drag flick from a penalty corner just a couple of weeks ago, so I think they've been working on that second option, but unfortunately if you're not trapping it cleanly on top of the circle, doesn't matter who's taking the shot, you're always at a bit of a disadvantage. So that's 2 out of the 3 penalty corners that their battery has failed.
Fantastic lead and receive by Sophie Rockefeller. Slips it down the line to Beth Dobbin, just can't connect. It was a fantastic lateral lead from young Sophie Rockefeller, who heads off to the US fairly shortly in the coming months to take up a collegiate hockey playing scholarship. And that is Lucy Munt down the right for Canterbury, getting to work. Earns a free hit. Dugan shifts the ball left to O'Connor, who's now slotted back into midfield. and just can't connect Canterbury with that forward pass. It's just breaking down for them a little bit in their attacking third.
Yeah, Sophie Rockefeller leaving the country, going to New York, I believe, and she'll be a big loss for the competition. I've really enjoyed seeing her develop over the last few years and then break into the Tassie Tigers squad back in 2019, score her first goal at national level as well.
And converted.
Yes, yep. Got the double, so good luck to her on her travels and her trip into the States. I'm sure she will end up being a star over in that competition as she is in this one. Canterbury go into the circle. It's a free hit just outside. Fantastic position. I think this is one of the first times that Canterbury have had the chance to create a bit of a set play on top of the circle now. And Beard does leave it for Dugan. So it's gone the 5. Dugan, Curtis. Back to Curtis, but she's stuck wide with a few Canterbury defenders to beat. They will get it back on the 23, but interesting moment here just to see what Canterbury can create from this field position.
The Lions have opened up the forward line here as Richardson, burns into the circle.
But you just look expectantly at the umpire too and say, was that a penalty corner there? Nothing doing. Good couple of 60, 90 seconds here for Canterbury. Always good to have a little bit of more time on the ball around your circle.
O'Connor first to it there. Slips it in looking for young Lucas, I think it was, but just unable to get on the same page. But that was a good build-up for the Lions. And Derwent really now need to look to connect a few passes. It's just been slipping away from them a little bit, as it does again there. So
just a dangerous, it could be a dangerous minute or two here for Derwent. Canterbury are looking good as Lauren Canning steals that. She has a few Canterbury sticks in front of her as well. Maddock wants to go down the right-hand side. Falls nicely for Lauren Canning, who does put on the afterburners, and she's into the 23 now. She's got Saltmarsh in the circle.
Goes to O'Grady, dumps it back to Hayes, and bang! Fires it into the bottom left-hand corner. No sooner were we saying, Scotty, that there was a little bit of a lull in play from the Derwent strikers, and they counter-attack with pace down that right-hand side. Canning, absolutely fantastic run down the right-hand side. Slipped it to O'Grady on the baseline and did what every good right wing should do. Slipped it back under their shoulder, and Molly Hayes, a true centre forwards goal there, knocks it into the bottom left-hand corner. Canterbury goalkeeper Georgia Bennett with no choice there but to just look on and hear the sound of the ball hitting the backboard.
Excellently timed run there from Molly Hayes too. Very smart, skillful striker, goal scorer. Been a little bit dry this season. She's only got a couple of goals to her name. Normally she's at the top of the goal scorers list. She'll be happy to bang that one in. Around the top of the circle though, Canterbury. Collecting the loose ball and free hit. Yeah, that was an important time to score, and again, it was their all-stars, Lauren Canning this time, who saw what was happening in the match, took it upon herself, go on a big attacking run and set up another goal. So we see every time it's looking dangerous for Derwent, they've got an answer, they've got a response, they're aware to it, so it's good signs for this Derwent side. As Maddie Curtis looks like she's being forced from the field with injury. I'm not sure whether he's bleeding as well. The umpires did get involved briefly, but I just took one on the finger. Presses on from Canterbury. Bit of pressure on the Derwent defence, but they do it well. Canning and Westland. Westland almost received it back, but intercepting is O'Connor. O'Connor goes wide. Important touch there from Van Blatteren. Good timing on the intercept, and Emily Rockefeller attacking down the right. O'Connor tackles her and holds her up for the moment. Derwent are able to get a few extra players forward. And Bladder at right half with the ball. Switches on to, and so Cotton uses Maddock. Olivia Canning not quite making the position to get on the receiving end of that switch, and so Maddock's forced to go more direct. Canterbury want to get it moving too. O'Connor in the midfield, seeing a lot of the ball. Not so many options for Beard. She goes overhead. That might just bounce nicely. It's off the body of Cotton. And the umpires just might confer about that one because I think it should be Canterbury's free hit, and it is. Dugan again goes quickly and direct. Probably a bit too direct and a bit too quick. It's over the baseline.
Yeah, they've stolen a good bit of territory this quarter, Scotty, the Canterbury Lions, but they've just looked to go too direct with their circle entries, whether that be someone trying to run it through the numbers or the crash ball through. So I certainly think they can tidy that up in the last quarter. If you're coach Jess Blake, are there any sort of moves you're looking to do, or are you content enough that you're seeing improvement?
Well, I think what they're doing now isn't working, and the game's only going to get further away from them. I'd like to see Hannah Richardson actually come a bit deeper and get the ball. I think she's one of their best ball users. I think it's probably time for her to just, even if it's just for the last quarter, get her on the ball. I know she's still searching for fitness, but I think that's one option where if you get her on the ball. The other option is, which I am expecting to see, is Blair Beard to actually put herself further up the park. Emily Rockefeller, that's a great cross and a really important touch from Georgia Bennett, because sitting on the back post was Beth Dobby, I think, who was waiting to knock that one in.
Great bit of skill from Canning off the wrong foot. As Rockefeller bursts into the circle, beats one, beats two. Big, heavy challenge. She goes to ground and she's won a penalty corner for her side.
Number 4.
And this will please Coach Keegan Popowski, because they do need to put a bit more work into their set pieces, the strikers, if they're going to be a threat come September. And they ought to be operating with probably a record of 1 every 4 corners. So for penalty corner number 4, let's see if they can convert and what options. You'll note Sophie Rockefeller is at the battery with a run-up longer than Andy Bickles' test run-up for Australia. But Maddock standing over as well. Rockefeller runs around the back. Maddock goes the direct strike. Well run by O'Connor. Rockefeller cracks it in. And Beth Dobby has got an important touch in there on the rebound to earn another corner for the strikers.
Interesting to see they did actually go with Maddock with the direct strike, and Camille O'Connor with that extra speed was right there in front of her before she even got a stick down. So they might have to go for the variation, either one left or one right, if they want to get past O'Connor. They do go for the one left. It's Westland with time. She shoots and she doesn't quite get onto the shot. Sprays it wide instead, and Lauren Canning, looking for the deflection from the post, had a fair bit of work to do to bring that one under control. So still disappointment from Derwent from their penalty corners. They've failed on 5 occasions, which is a little bit of a concern, but they do hold a comfortable 2-0 lead, and I think there's still plenty of time to get that area of their game right. Sophie Rockefeller twists and turns, and she's away down the left now. Past Dugan too, stuck on a reverse though, trying to cut it back inside. She's prevented from going any further.
Just interesting that Sophie Rockefeller there was getting her head right up to have good scan. Probably needs to practice keeping down low on the ball and having a little look rather than popping up like a meerkat. And the siren sounds. It's 2-0 to Derwent. Deservedly so, I'd have to say, Scotty. But we saw some good territory won by the Lions. But they were just a little bit wasteful with the way they entered the attacking circle.
We are just about to get back underway for the final 15 minutes of this match. Derwent with a 2-0 lead and looking comfortable, and I think they might be keen to fill their boots a little bit in this final quarter.
Yeah, absolutely, Scotty. They're going to want to take some good positives out of this. It could be, certainly in the men's competition, there hasn't been a side win a game after playing on the Tuesday night on the short backup. So I don't know if there's anything in that, but just to get the points after playing on the Tuesday night and probably leaving a couple of goals and a couple of points out there, they'll be really keen to collect the 3 points here, and if they can lock it in by knocking a third goal in early in this quarter, they'll be most pleased.
Yeah, I think they could get Claire Saltmarsh back on the scoreboard. I think that would be a really huge outcome for them. She hasn't scored for a few weeks now after starting with a bang, so it'd be good to see her put one into the net and get her confidence back up, because they will lose Sophie Rockefeller before the season is out. Is what it looks like at the moment. Of course, with the current state of the world, things can change very quickly, but
I'm just noticing here on the ladder that Derwent have got 14 points, so a win here will take them to 17, which actually leapfrogs Diamondbacks, who have the tough ask against OHA today, the unbeaten OHA. So potentially going to jump position on the table, which will be great, and probably putting another couple of goals away would really help them in the goal difference charts as well, going into the back end of the season against Diamondbacks. As we see Jess Cotton down the right, searches for Hayes. The tackle from Beard just catches Hayes high, and a chance now to attack quickly. Round Beard, round Dugan on a top reverse. Great stretching save with the stick there from Bennett. I think there was a foul just before that called by umpire Eileen Carr, but a great stretch by Bennett with the stick nonetheless. So it'll be Beard to bring us back underway. Fantastic ball to O'Connor, who's gone back up front, Scotty. She goes left to right, around Featherstone, threads the ball down to Merry, who protects it well, I must say, peels it back into the circle to Curtis, and she's earned a penalty corner by peeling the ball back in through the feet of Lauren Canning for an obstruction. And that was really nice play. It's what we've been talking about earlier in the game. Beard connecting with O'Connor just makes things happen.
Question is, where was that in the first 3 quarters? So simple. Good movement from Camille O'Connor, and we know Beard is able to pick out those passes, and she had the run and support from both Richardson and Merry on either side, and that's what's created the overlap and the chance in the circle. So more of that from Canterbury will make this game very interesting. Beard does take the strike, defended by Canning and cleared out, so Derwent survived that penalty corner. Another powerful strike from Beard though. She's scored a number of those at important times this season as well, so a little bit of a nervous moment for the Derwent penalty corner defence. Canterbury into the circle again, making the tackle that time is Maddock. Been involved in everything in their defence so far, Derwent.
Yeah, she's one of the few defenders in the competition that can do a disguised slide pass with that much pace on it, Beard. It's a great weapon to have in your locker as Canterbury shift possession here and earn their way into the circle, and crash ball in from Galloway has found the foot of Van Bladderen, and a penalty corner again to the Lions. So enjoying a little purple patch in this game. It's good to see, and a goal here, Scotty, would make for a really intriguing finish to this match.
Well, again, we've seen Beard score an important goal from a penalty corner on several occasions so far this year, and I wouldn't be surprised if they go to her again.
Shifted her position out, give herself a little bit more time and an angle, and a cracking ball just a little bit high and wide. Probably left herself a little bit too much to do by shifting her position round to the left. Camille O'Connor was fooling nobody by looking to be a dummy trapper for no one on top of the battery, but good to see them trying things though, Scotty.
That's the best they've looked for the whole game. And again, they're up in attack. Westland with an important interception because O'Connor was ready to go.
Great decision here by Emily Rockefeller. She's gone out to the help side, out into space, and she's going to use her foot speed. Look to pass the ball in behind to Saltmarsh, but feeds Dobby. Strong play by Dobby, met with a heavy challenge from Chloe Abel, who gets up a little bit gingerly. And great to see Emily Rockefeller recognise where the space was then. Ball cut out by Richardson. She's got O'Connor ahead of her and just can't quite find the pace on the pass. But that's what Canterbury need, those two looking to connect with each other. Canterbury down the left, Rockefeller not going to muck around this time, feeds the ball through, but Beard is able to clear the danger. Out to Mary, but Featherstone protecting the ball. Fires a blind pass, and Canterbury here have got numbers down the side. Mary can find Richardson down the right, takes it quickly, and away they go. She cuts back infield, but I think she's a little bit dead on her feet, Scotty. And you can see Featherstone on the reverse. Now Dobby has come back to the ball nicely. She's got speed, tracks on an angle, cuts infield. Now protects it outside her right foot. Still going, young Beth Dobby. She's got Sophie Rockefeller in support, but snuffed out by Dugan.
Nice little bit of skill there shown from Dobby to cut back on the inside. That's a good skill for anyone coming in on the left to have. But O'Connor gets the ball back for Canterbury. And again, she's bursting with speed, taking on 3 Derwent players. Wins the free hit, autoplay very quickly. Tracking around the top of the circle. And there is Louise Maddock with an important tackle. Her clearance doesn't get past Dugan, who now wants to send Canterbury into attack as well. Got Sophie Rockefeller right on a hammer, tackling her twice. There's a free hit to Dugan at the moment. Chloe Abel will take it instead. Beard, she'll be happy to be in this position. Sees something she likes, goes long. Westland with an important interception now. Has Vickery in support on the right. Vickery decides to cut back in the inside. And there is Emily Rockefeller again. Oh, she got that final touch. She would have been through too. She had almost hit top pace. Mary, Featherstone. Here's Sophie Rockefeller. Held up by Abel.
Just seeing Scotty players get reward as we see Saltmarsh in behind. Plenty of space. Looks to carry, goes right into the circle, protects it with the body, rolls one way, the other, looking for the corner, back out to Rockefeller, and she's put it onto her foot there for the penalty corner. And I was just going to say before, Scotty, was seeing players get reward for tracking on angles, not just staying, as we like to call it in hockey, in their swimming lanes. And I think Camille O'Connor, when she had 3 Derwent players to beat, she just tried to track and was a little bit of the meat in the middle of the sandwich. As they all came in on her. Just tracking on angles really presents opportunities. So Derwent now, penalty corner number 6. The Lions just take their time setting up here. Crucial moment in the match. Can they put the points to bed? It's going to be Maddock from the top, backed up by Vickery. Rockefeller rolls onto a 4-stick. Saltmarsh fires the shot in. Bennett on the first save, then the second save. Fantastic second save as Canning looked ominous at the left post.
I think Georgia Bennett will be owed a few sodas after the match. Couple of important saves there to deny it. Claire Saltmarsh, who was in a spot she likes to, right in front of the keeper. Now, line up again. Is Maddock. Oh no, she's put it onto her foot, so you'd have to say disappointing results from those penalty corners once again. Had second opportunity there and still got a little bit to work on. Overhead from Beard. Out on the left hand side, Reed's coughed up possession. Now here's Sophie Rockefeller. Hasn't really had a chance to go on long runs that she likes to do, unlike her sister, so we can see her. She seems keen when she gets on the ball to really open up.
couple of fantastic aerial balls by Beard in this match.
It's an important weapon to have for a defender, especially when things can get a little bit choked up in the midfield. Certainly in games like this, where the opposition puts in a bit of a wall, a bit of a press. You can just go straight over the top of them. Gives a huge advantage to your side. Lucas puts O'Grady under pressure. O'Grady does well to win that. Beats two.
Nice little jink in a play there. We haven't seen that too often from players today, but another great skill to have. Derwent switch the play now. Maddock to Van Blatteren. Opts to go back. Looking to consolidate here. Maddock goes to Featherstone. Nothing on, so consolidates back out. Maddock doesn't take the best first touch in the world, but Van Blatteren will just put that out. Got a chance here now for Curtis. 2-on-1 with Cotton. Goes infield. Ignores Dugan, but the deflection finds her anyway. Searching ball through, and Maddock just cuts that one out.
Still is only 2-0. Time is running out for Canterbury, but probably just be biting your fingernails a little bit every time Canterbury go forward if you're Derwent just at the moment.
If I'm Blair Beard here, though, I'm hunting around for Dugan. Here it comes. She's got Camille O'Connor on her right. Ignores her and goes direct. One back by Curtis. And Lauren Canning will win the free hit there. But O'Connor's shifted back into midfield. Hayes and Westland, plenty of space up forward if Maddock can find them. Nice little one touch by Canning, that was clever, but just not quite on the wavelength with Featherstone. So O'Connor will bring the ball back into play.
On the right, she uses Beard. Cross field, nice ball to Abel inside the 23. She had Curtis. Curtis misses the trap, and that relieves the pressure once more on Derwent, who have found it relatively easy going in their defensive half today. Hayes does well to keep that inside and going. Again, along the sideline, her pass does eventually go out before it finds striker on the run there, Emma O'Grady, who was just subbed off straight after that play for Beth Dobby. So youngsters switching over at the half line. Seddon, interesting decision to go across field, and they're immediately under pressure. Westland goes quickly too. She's over the dotted, just outside the circle. She's got a free hit. Options to the left and right, but Canterbury have done reasonably well to plug in the gaps. It's Maddock, wants to go long into the circle, and intercepting is Camille O'Connor, who's been among Canterbury's best today. Just gives a little apology to Jess Cotton too for skying the ball up into her. So good manners as well as a good player. Maddock switches out to Van Blatteren. Now Featherstone wide on the left. On a reverse. It's well tackled by Mary. Take it back to the 23. Vickery.
Good lead from Dobby, ignored. Goes wide. Emily Rockefeller fires it in. Free hit to Derwent. So as the seconds tick away, Scotty, in this game, you've got to be pleased if you're both sides, I think. It was important for Derwent to rebound after the disappointment of Tuesday night. But for Canterbury as well, when you think, put this result in context, they lost to Derwent in round 1, 8-0, and in round 6, 5-0. So they've brought it back 2-0. If they keep that 3-goal improvement per game, they might be securing the points in round 16.
I think Canterbury have definitely been improving as the weeks have gone on. I think they'll be disappointed with the result though, as Maddock makes the intercept. She's up very high in the pitch indeed. Emily Rockefeller on the ground, couldn't bring that one under control. Mary's got a bit of work to do at right back. Lauren Canning steals it for Derwent. Takes a look up and goes back to Emily Rockefeller. Rockefeller now out to Featherstone. She's got square options on. That is Maddock. She can go all the way into the circle. Decides to just put it onto the foot. Camille O'Connor, Vickery. Quick play. Westland's there. She tries to tuck it in around the back of the keeper. It's off. Derwent defender instead and over the baseline.
I think it was Hayes, in fact, searching for her second goal of the game. Very nearly came. Crash ball, one out by Rockefeller. Fires off the wrong foot, but just can't quite screw it back on target.
Yeah, I think if you're Canterbury, you will be disappointed with the result though, because a win here definitely would have put them back in the frame to possibly sneak into the top 4 by the end of the season. I think now with the loss, that probably is just out of reach now. And it's probably a little bit early to have your season over. We're still just 11 rounds in, but the gap potentially too big for them to overcome back into the top 4 without the result today. So yes, pleased with the improvements, but probably overall walk away a little bit disappointed not to have at least gone a little bit closer to securing the points. Able at right back, not too many options presenting now. So she just goes down the line and come off. Not sure which way the umpire was pointing. He has in fact given it to Derwent, so it'll be Featherstone. Just looking to run the clock down now. Siren does sound. It is a 2-0 win for Derwent. They'll be very happy to collect the points today after a tough Tuesday night. And that does almost secure their spot in the finals too. So now they can start to refocus towards September, but also maybe just pushing for that top 2 position.
Yeah, it keeps them in the hunt for the top 2, and now they move 10 points clear of Canterbury. A much improved Canterbury, I must say, but I think there's a couple of tactical tweaks they could make to be a little bit more threatening on the attack.